Geoholics.
Here we go. There we go. There we go. 286 episodes, and the first time we've ever been asked to use prints.
It's amazing.
How cool is that?
I know.
I'm
It's
shocked.
really cool.
I went back and looked. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We've never used prints before. Big Prince fan. We'll get to that later, though.
We will.
Welcome back to Geoholics, episode 286.
Yeah, 286 we are on here.
Man, the number just keeps on growing.
I
It's
know.
unbelievable.
No, it's a monster.
On that note, 300 is right around the corner. Think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it is.
We're throwing around some ideas.
We have some ideas.
Geoholics. Thinking about having an event to celebrate episode 300 and 7 years for that matter.
Yes.
Something in the fall, possibly.
Yep.
Maybe rent out a brewery. There might be a golf outing involved.
Yeah, we're kicking around some ideas.
We got some music lined up. We've got a comedian lined up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yep. Got a lot of things happening. So
Love it.
stay tuned for more on that. Very, very preliminary stages of planning.
But it's coming up quick. We're 14 episodes away. So
I know.
It's going to get here before we know it.
It absolutely is. Other than that, we're in June. No events.
No events
this
in June.
month.
No.
Next month, big event.
Big event. Big trip.
Big event. The Geoholics will be crossing. Do we say crossing the pond? You're crossing multiple ponds.
That's not the term. No,
not in this case.
not in this case.
No, we're going down under.
We're going down under.
Yes, we will be in Brisbane, Australia.
We will.
Of all places. For the 12D Tech Forum. Super excited about that one. Going to be sending them some swag to put in their bags here very shortly.
And your very favorite geospatial podcast will be doing the keynote.
We'll be doing the keynote.
Yes.
Yes, we're super excited about that. We're starting to prep now, unlike last time we prepped the day before.
On the plane ride over.
Yes, we're actually going to be prepared this time.
We
So
are.
God only knows how good this is going to be.
Well, Claude will know how good it's going to be, and that's about it.
So Claude and ChatGPT are going to have a fight.
Yes.
And we're
we
going
will.
to see who comes
We're
on
going to
top.
duke it out.
All right. This episode, of course, is powered by MLID, making aerial and terrestrial surveys faster and easier than ever before. To find out more, go to emlid.com. Great folks over there at MLID. They got some cool stuff going on.
They do.
Always got cool stuff
They
going
do.
on. Other than that, what's new with you, man?
Well, it's the summer and all that, but I did have some news.
You're pregnant.
No, but it is, it's not really any news, but I did get some bad news from my doctor. Did some blood tests, and it turns out that everything's completely normal. And the reason why I'm out of shape and unhealthy is me. It's got nothing to do, no other problem that they can find. It's just me. I was hoping there was hey, there's this thing going on. That's why you don't work out, or that's why your beer gut's too big, or no, perfectly healthy, just me.
That's good.
No, it's bad news.
Actually,
I was hoping for something I was hoping for something I could blame, and no.
Unfortunately, it's not the case.
Unfortunately, not.
Well, you got to work on you. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what they're telling me.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
it's discipline. You got to make a choice.
Yes, it's all about choices.
It takes 3 weeks to make a habit.
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
After 3 weeks, you're golden.
Okay. Well, I can't get past 3 days. So
tough, though.
Yeah. What about you? What's new with you?
You know what? I have a medical update as well.
Oh,
a little PSA.
Okay.
I'm going to call it. I have been feeling shitty for the last 4 months, right?
Okay.
And I've been masking it with my eyes are always burning and watering, and my sinuses are always clogged, and I'm achy and I'm bloated and all these things, right? I'm feeling miserable.
Yeah.
I was constantly putting eye drops in, constantly putting nose spray in, taking stuff for bloating. And I'm like, something's up. Something's up. So I was up in Prescott last week visiting Chicago Bob, had pizza Friday night like we always do. Within 15 minutes after I ate the pizza, I noticed that all these symptoms were coming to the forefront.
Oh,
my eyes, everything. I was freaking miserable. I'm like, hold on a second. Maybe there's something to this. Long story short, Saturday had some chips and salsa.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, same thing. Absolutely freaking miserable. I'm like, gluten, blue, looking it up on Google. I'm like, I've got that. So since Saturday night, I've had no gluten.
Okay.
And I feel 1,000%
Really
better. Yes. So I am convinced I have developed a gluten intolerance.
I think that's a thing.
It absolutely is a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that what the internet tells you? It is a thing. You can develop it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because your body changes as you grow older. Like the lining of your stomach changes and everything changes. So,
Okay.
But literally, since I've cut out gluten, no eye problems, no sinus problems. I'm not achy anymore. I've got my 6-pack back.
Yeah.
Not bloated. But seriously, it's been life-changing.
Okay.
It's been absolutely life-changing. So PSA, anybody out there, you got a lot of those same symptoms, which probably a lot of people have.
Look at your diet.
Maybe give up gluten for a couple days. See what happens.
That means you're done with pizza.
Guess what? I went to my favorite pizza place, Spinato's, of course, on Monday night. Ordered the gluten-free pizza. Yeah. It was phenomenal.
LGO has a good gluten-free pizza as well.
So good. Yeah. Like nowadays, being gluten-free
it's much less of
is a lot easier per se. So yeah, I mean, I'm feeling
good for
amazing. You. Yes. Yeah. All right. Our weekly updates brought to you by Topodot, our good friends at Topodot, leading the way in point cloud feature extraction and data governance. To find out more, go to topodot.com. Check out TopoShare. That is a really cool product that they've got something going with now. And it's a game changer. So check it out. Tell us about that opening number, Sean.
Like you mentioned, that was Prince. Song's When Doves Cry. Somehow never had Prince on our podcast playlist yet, but now we do. Prince was a groundbreaking singer, songwriter, musician, producer, and performer whose fearless creativity reshaped pop, funk, rock, R&B, and soul, known for his incredible musicianship, electrifying stage presence, and genre-defying sound. He created timeless hits like Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, Kiss, 1999, and a bunch of others. Beyond the music, Prince was also a cultural icon who pushed boundaries in fashion, identity, artistry, and ownership of creative work. His influence continues to inspire generations of artists and fans around the world.
He was a trailblazer in so many ways.
I would say the most underrated guitar player.
Culturally, huge fan.
I mean, no one. I mean, this guy can shred, and he's starting to get some. But you see those little lists. He's never high enough on those lists, in my opinion.
Yeah, but his Super Bowl performance.
Oh yeah,
second to none. One of the best ever. And I'm kicking myself. There are like probably 4 concerts that I beat myself up over not going to. Before he passed, he came through Phoenix and played 3 nights at the Marquee.
No.
Yep. Oof. Tickets were $250 a piece. And I'm like, I just can't justify paying $250 for a ticket. Obviously, in hindsight, I'm like, God dang, I wish I would have done that.
Right.
I'm sure it was amazing. All right. Our song of the week is brought to you by ALTAEI Central, your Trimble dealer for all things survey mapping and even marine gear. Check out ALTAEICentral.com. Next up, we got our Leica Geosystems weekly pro tip.
I like this one. All right. This week's Leica Geosystems pro tip is show up prepared, document everything, and communicate clearly. Whether you are collecting boundary evidence, mapping existing conditions, supporting acquisition, or helping resolve potential conflicts, tools like Leica GNSS, robotic total stations, scanners, and field-to-office workflows help create reliable, defensible data. But the real value comes when the data is prepared with experience, judgment, and strong communication. Because ROW and the best professionals do not measure land, they protect relationship, reduce risk, and help projects move forward with confidence.
And in that instance, ROW is right away.
That is correct.
Yes, just clarifying. To find out more, simply go to leicageosystems.com. All right, let's get our guests in here. Our guest this week is, of course, brought to you by our good friends at David Evans & Associates. To find out more about the DEA difference, visit DEAINC.com. And I can tell you, because I'm closely related to this situation, we are looking for a professional surveyor in our marine services group.
Oh, really?
Really cool opportunity.
Okay.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. All right. We got Liz Babcock with us, born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, attended St. Cloud State University. Go Huskies. Yep. She is the VP of Land and Right-of-Way at ALTAEI. What are you guys calling it?
ALTAEI is a sponsor. ALTAEI.
ALTAEI.
The EI stands for Environmental and Infrastructure.
I like that. I like what you guys did there. Her passion is family, friends, and she values experiences that connect people and create lasting memories. Liz, welcome to the Geoholics. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks so much for inviting me.
Of course. We're excited to have this conversation. Yeah. You're a recent hire at ALTAEI.
Yes. I'm in my fourth week.
Fourth week.
Yes.
And she's still here.
Has she met the dance?
Yes, she has.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I know Sean was super excited, to bring you on board for sure. You got a tremendous background in right-of-way acquisition services and stuff like that. Like, how in the world did you get involved with that to begin with?
Well, I got tricked. Yes. I had a whole different career path, and my dad was in the industry.
What was the other career path you were
I was going to teach little kids.
Oh.
I was going to be a teacher.
You did get tricked.
Okay.
I got really tricked. So as I was going through college, Dad would say, hey, honey, I need you to go to the courthouse and figure out who owns this piece of property. Hey, honey, you're really close to a place where I need to buy an easement. Can you go visit these people and have them sign this? And little by little, and I kept saying, I'm not going to do this for a living. I'm not going to do it. Next thing you know, my major is real estate law.
Interesting. All right. It almost sounded like you were going down the path of like maybe doing title work or something, but that's essentially what you were doing, right?
Well, I think that's how he got me started. He got me started there just to get me interested because it's history, and I like to figure out what family dynamics are like. And the exciting part is when you're doing title work and things like that, you find out that, yes, Susie can have the property after mom and dad die if she doesn't marry Billy. Those kinds of things. These very weird dynamics. So
yeah, that's fun. Yeah. So you've been doing this for a long time.
Way long time. Yeah. I started at 12. No. Long time.
Yeah. How have things changed as it pertains to like what you've done for the last 40 years?
You know what? Things have changed so much. I often tell this story. When I first showed up in my first office scenario, there was no computer on the desk. We didn't have computers. There was an ashtray. There was a rotary phone.
That's awesome.
A rotary phone and probably a bottle of tequila in my drawer.
That's awesome.
And that was
like Mad Men.
It was exactly Mad Men.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah. And so, things were very male dominated, but, lots of things have changed since.
Yeah. So we ask all our guests for like a bio type thing, and you mentioned in your bio that you're an Enron survivor. I actually bought stock in Enron back in the day. So what do you mean by being an Enron survivor?
Well, exactly that. The beauty of it is one of my Enron colleagues was smarter than I. I was younger, and Enron was handing out stock options, and they were giving us $100 for every time they split, and they're doing all this. And somebody told me, don't invest all your eggs and put all your eggs in one basket. And so I fortunately had diversified my portfolio and learned that, number one, I survived much better than some of my colleagues did. They had made a lot of millionaires that became poor. Their retirement funds were gone, completely gone. So, and also the Enron thing is don't take it all for granted. I mean, we spent more time on the golf course than we did working.
That's so
crazy.
Enron.
It was a great place to work. It was great, but then you really had to learn how to work.
Yeah, right. God, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy times, right?
Yeah.
What was your takeaway from that experience?
Get serious about really being part of the company and investing in the company that you're working for, and not worry about the playing on the golf course. I mean, I really, all we did was play. Yeah. And I remember that Enron sent me down to Houston one time for 2 weeks to ask me to be a marketer for their products, and I said to them, I think I'm dumb. I don't understand what we're selling. Yeah. And look, we really weren't selling much of anything,
right.
So
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, what were you selling?
Nothing. Opportunities,
selling opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I haven't even gotten the full story, but I am curious. You mentioned your dad. Like, what was What was the early years like, other than the ashtrays on the desk? Like, talk a little bit about the first 5 years of your career and what that was like.
Well, and it drove me crazy, but I think today I count it as one of the biggest blessings, because my dad's company was a land and right-of-way and survey company. And so I spent time in the fields holding the rods for the surveyors. Nice. I spent time at a drafting table with vellum paper and
Leroy pens.
I had all of it. I did all of it. So
awesome.
I answered the phones. I did the books. I did title work. I worked with our attorneys. I worked with our engineers. I worked with everybody. And so he did that on purpose. I just thought he was being irritating.
It's awesome. So funny. So like when you're in like the land and the right-of-way acquisition, business, you're dealing with landowners and attorneys and engineers and, tons of agencies and utility companies, oil and gas companies. You talk about doing work in the renewable sector as well. I mean, what has made you successful in your career? Like what does it take to be good at what you do?
I think one of the things I'd like to say to the people that are in my career that have kind of pigeonholed themselves, like I said, my dad did a very big blessing to me by putting me in all these different things. We have people today that only want to do title work. We only want to do permits. We only want to do this. And we only want to do it for oil and gas, or we only want to do it for electric. I did it all for everybody. If they needed land, I could get it for them. So that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously, like our podcast here, majority of our listeners work in the geospatial industry, land surveying, that type thing, and which is also, male-dominated fields or professions. And, you made a very successful career in a male-dominated profession. What did it take for you to earn your seat at the table per se? And what advice would you give other women working their way up the ladder?
No, that's really good. Well, first things first is I had a family that told me I could be anywhere I desired to be. I belonged in every room that I ever wanted to be in. But you have to do the work. You have to get your knowledge. You have to learn the trade. You have to learn what you're doing. And that's by either going to school and getting that education. I followed so many people in my industry, just followed them around. And so I didn't have a problem when I walked in a room. I knew I belonged at the table. I was in the room, so I belonged at the table. I heard one of your guests say, if you're not at the table, you're going to be on the menu. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I totally believe that way. Yeah.
I think one of your quotes was, navigating a male-dominated world, one martini at a time, right? So, it's a great line, no doubt about it. But what does that mean to you? Expand on that just a little bit.
Well, that was a true lesson my father said I had to do. Was they weren't going to take, the men in the industry were not going to take me, a 21-year-old woman who's, thin and they weren't going to take me serious if I couldn't sit down at lunch and have 2 martinis.
Oh, geez.
And so I said, I can't drink 2 martinis. And he said, well, you have to learn. You got to do this. And I said, then we're putting a couch in my office and I get the afternoon off. And he said, that whatever it takes. But that's really what it was. And then it just kind of became my fun thing that it helped me tolerate that male-dominated world. I could have a martini and say, yeah, I can hang with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were some of the early, do you have any stories of where the shock from the room when, it's a bunch of dudes in the conference room and then you walk in and then actually know what you're talking about?
Well, and mind you, I had to dress the part of a female in the male world. And so I had a suit skirt. I had to have pantyhose on, which are hot, high heels, the whole dress. And I'd walk in and they're all probably 40-year-old men, but I thought they were like 80.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
And I walked in the room and they looked at me like, where's the coffee? Where's the donuts? And that's a conversation I had. The very first contract I negotiated with the oil and gas company to do work for them was, I'll bring donuts next time, but we're going to sit here. I slapped the papers down on the table. I said, after we get done with this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. ALTAEI Central. ALTAEI Central is the authorized premier Trimble dealer for survey, mapping, GIS, forensics, and marine equipment in Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, and New Mexico.
Yeah, we love these guys. The studio sponsor for the Geoholics this year. They have 8 offices and provide sales, rentals, repairs, and support for the full line of Trimble products. GPS, GNSS receivers, robotic total station scanners, Seiko accessories, mobile mapping systems, used equipment, and field supplies, including Juniper receivers and tablets, LaserTech Troop Pulse rangefinders, and micro drone UAVs.
You definitely drew the short straw on that one. To find out more, go to altaircentral.com.
Let's talk about Carlson Software. Founded in 1983, Carlson Software is a privately owned international market leader in CAD design software, field data collection, laser measurement, and machine control products for the civil engineering, surveying, GIS, construction, accident reconstruction, and mining industries worldwide, providing one-source technology solutions for the entire project cycle.
You're dialed in right now.
I know, right?
Carlson's culture is always on the forefront of adapting and developing new technologies into practical applications while remaining rooted in the down-to-earth industries they serve.
Carlson Software's renowned dedication to customer service is unique in the industry. To find out more, visit
carlsonsw.com. Yeah, I mean, one of the things we do talk about a lot on the show and promote is diversity and inclusion, of course. Yeah. And a very sobering moment for me personally happened last year. We got invited to go to the Women Surveyors Conference in Vegas, right? I'm guessing there was 250 women there probably. And it was myself and one other guy, good friend of ours, Trent Keenan. Mm-hmm. We were the only men there. So it was a room full of 250 women and Trent and I. And it hit me at that point in time. I'm like, I look at Trent, I'm like, this is really odd. You know, like it was a very, very sobering moment. I'm like, this kind of really put things into perspective for me.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that was every room every conference I ever went into.
That's my point. Yeah.
Everything. And so I do a lot with the Women's Initiative. You know, Women's Initiatives, I spoke on a panel with exactly the same scenario. But I looked around and, you know, we've got 250 people and I'm on a panel with rocket scientists and all kinds of things. And, you know, I'm a people person. I'm not a scientist. But it was wonderful to see all the women there and the men that were there to support them.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. And I think I hope anyways, you know, it's a generational thing, mm-hmm. right? Like someone like the older generation, like the whole, you know, inclusion and diversity thing is a little bit harder for them, you know, but I think as the younger generation is coming up and they've been raised in this different world where diversity and inclusion is just part of life, you know, I'm really hoping, and I think we're seeing that a lot of those issues are going away.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You are. You are for the most part, but
not completely going away, but are getting better.
Well, and you're talking about a professional. You know, it's people that are in professional associations and things. And what I do for a living, you know, I go out to the middle of nowhere and talk to people that just maybe spend time in their own community and don't have those opportunities to be taught those values and diversity things. And so sometimes they say, I don't want to talk to you. I need to talk to a man. Okay. Yeah. You know, and you know, that's okay. It is what it is. Yeah. But you just move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like in the business you're in, land and right away, you know, trust is everything, right? I mean, you have to establish trust with your clients. How do you build trust with landowners? Like, and what does that look like from your perspective? You know, what are some ways to go about that have made you successful?
You know, that's a really good question because, you know, we have to build trust with our clients and that's the job that we're doing. But in order to find success, we have to build that trust with the people in the communities. Mm-hmm. And whether it be a landowner or a city council or whatever, you have to build that trust. And I find for me, the best way to build that trust is to listen. You know, and I have one of my favorite sayings is, why does everybody love a golden retriever? Because they wag their tails and not their mouths. So I like to listen. I like to listen to what people have to say. And usually when you're trying to find negotiation abilities to, you know, find solid ground, you have to listen to them. And it isn't about the dollar. It's not always about the dollar.
Yeah.
And so building that trust, and when they know that you care as much as they do about grandpa's apple tree in the backyard, those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's huge. Like the whole listening component of it. One of the books at David Evans, one of the books that the leadership group had to read was The Lost Art of Listening. And just reading the first 4 chapters of that, I was like, holy crap, I can be way better than what I am. Like people want to be heard, right? And when you're in a group, like I am that type of person, like I will sit back and listen to everything that's going around me and like process it before I speak. A lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people are, they can't help themselves. They have to give their point of view, blah, 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 just like word vomit. And it makes them look bad.
Well, what's that saying where you should listen to what they say and then respond to what they say, not just wait for them to stop talking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a big one, right?
Right.
Because what's going on in your head is, how am I going to respond?
Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking of, okay, now she's done. I can say what I said, not actually listen.
Yeah. And then because we all have stereotypes, right, as well. So that's another thing that comes into, truly listening is getting over your stereotypes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you've developed into a good, if not fantastic, negotiator.
Oh, I have.
How did you do
she's
that?
a good girl from the Midwest.
Well, I didn't ask you. I asked her.
I'm chiming in here.
Is that something that you developed, or it was you trained on and took classes on, and that's how how did you develop that talent skill?
I think it's just listening to both the client's needs and the public's needs, and to put those two together and listening. And my negotiation isn't I'm going to win. My negotiation is we're going to create the thing that works, that we both come out on the right side, that it's good for both of us. And so that is all about listening. It's all about, I got it. This is my goal. I have to have this facility built, and I want it done so that I can still develop my property, or I can still save grandpa's apple tree.
Yeah. Yeah. What about empathy?
Empathy is huge.
Where does that come in?
Well, I think you have to put yourself in their place. I had people that, again, with certain facilities, they're scared to have them in their backyard. And, I'd had to sit there and think, would I want my grandma to be living next to one of these things? And I've had a very blessed career in saying that every company that I've worked for, every single one of them, I believe, really, truly took care of their facilities. And I would put my grandma on any one of those properties. Yeah. And so that made that good. Made it easy for me to do that. And so empathizing with what their concerns are. They got fear. They don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious if you can get more specific, like what's an example of one of those facilities on someone's property that you really kind of had to say, oh, I got to think about this and make sure that's right, that you really wouldn't mind your grandmother being on that property?
Well, one of them is a pipeline. It's underground and it carries some pretty volatile products sometimes, and it can either, they can fail due to usually outside activity. Somebody hits it, and so then the pipe bursts, and it's either petroleum that goes all over the property, and so you got a big petroleum spill, or it's natural gas and it goes up, and there's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened in your experience that you can talk about?
There have been pipelines that have had that happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you, there's got to be a conflict from time to time where I go to the whole Midwest value thing. Right. I'm from Chicago, grew up in the Midwest, wouldn't want to be from anywhere else. There's something to Midwest values, right? And I'm sure sometimes you're put in positions where you have to negotiate, an acquisition of some sort that deep down, is probably not in that person's best interest. So there's a conflict there. Right. And I'm sure that's something you have to kind of overcome and come to grips with in your mind.
I'm not going to say I've had that because I really haven't, because again, these facilities are built for the communities, and it's not just one person. And so if I have one person in a 100-mile transmission line project that just doesn't want it, I got to say, you're going to have to, for the greater good of the community, your community needs this service. We're going to have to come to terms.
What about if it's for somebody else's community? Like they're just in the way, or they happen to be in between where it needs to start and where it needs to go.
Well, but they have it too. I mean, they ultimately have this. They get to turn their water on and get water. They get to turn their TV on and have electricity. Sure. They get to have, gas.
And it's interesting that in your experience, most people understand that, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Like they get it. Like these, my TV doesn't turn on magically. All those things have to get the power here. So that's interesting.
Have you been involved in any eminent domain?
I have
scenarios.
Once.
One time
in 40 years.
That's a good record, by the way. Yeah. That means she's a good negotiator.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily just negotiation. It is literally figuring out the best solution for all parties involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be very diplomatic. In these conversations,
and that's why I tend not to say negotiation, because you put me at a garage sale, I can't say, can you take $5 for this? I can't negotiate those kinds of things. Will you take 50 cents for this? But I again, if you really think of negotiation as coming to terms that satisfy both people, you get success.
Sure.
40 years, one condemnation.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess that's an interesting point, because you consider negotiation, people coming to a common ground and agreement. Some people consider it, I just got to get the cheapest price possible. And that's what negotiating is. And that may not be the right way, right?
Oh, absolutely not. If you're not working for me, if that's what you're thinking. Again, I train my people to think like me, and it's all in good faith. Good faith negotiation is key.
Yeah.
You won't work for me if you try to take advantage of people.
Interesting. So on that note, like what from your perspective, again, you've had a very successful career in this, but what's made you really good at this?
The things we've already said is the empathy, the listening, the understanding the greater good, the greater purpose of what we're trying to accomplish here, and listening to people.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I want to get in a little bit on maybe something our listeners are a little more closer to, because throughout your career you've been involved with surveying and that business from day one. What is your perspective on the survey industry, and how has it changed in your career?
Well, you've got better equipment. It's changed a whole lot. The equipment is much more finite. You've got so many different things. We talked about the different data points that we can collect now and give our clients better products and to make their decisions on. Oh yeah,
when Liz and I first started talking, it was like, oh, okay, so you need a GIS, and then we can do. Oh, well, then we need environmental studies, and then maybe if we have a survey department, and maybe we can get all that together, and those environmental hazards and features can have a survey component, and that's pulled in, and then we can do a lot here that maybe not a lot of these services have all been pulled in. But I'm also curious, from your perspective, you've hired a lot of survey companies. What do you look for in a good surveyor?
Reliability. Being able to rely that the information is accurate. Yeah. A lot of surveyor companies that I have been wooed by in my past, and like, we can do it really fast. I'm like, I don't care about fast. I want it to be accurate, because I don't want to have to be fixing it.
Yeah.
Has that ever come up in the past where you thought it was one place because the surveyor said it was, and it turned out it wasn't?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What did you do in that scenario?
I had to pay. I had to pay a lot of money.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Because you could build a pipeline in the wrong place.
Hypothetically, you could build a pipeline in the wrong place.
Hypothetically, you can, if you don't have accurate data. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So from your perspective, again, what could surveyors do better?
Surveyors do it. The the surveyors that I have worked with do a really good job because, again, my connection with them is through my landowners.
Mm-hmm.
They're going out and dealing with the public, and they do a really good job of just staying respectful and they're, it's all about respecting the fact that they're being on other people's properties.
Sure.
And
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a surveyor unless somebody has threatened to pull a weapon on you or pulled a weapon on you for being on their property. I'm sure that's happened to you.
I had my survey crew called me and they said, I've got somebody shooting at me, and what should I do? And I said, run.
Get off the phone.
I will call the police.
Crazy.
That is great.
Yeah.
Crazy. So what is there any other let's call them either like challenging or success stories that come to mind when you think back across your 40 plus year career that I don't want to say like a career defining moment or acquisition or something like that, but I'm sure there's been some big projects that you've worked on where you really felt fulfilled afterwards.
Well, I think when we started getting brought to the table earlier, that really kind of changed the dynamics, because then I was able to say, if you need this done by this date, I can't have one X on a map because I don't know if that one landowner is going to agree to things. So, again, we talk about why ALTAEI is excited about having land and right-of-way is I've convinced a lot of my clients to bring us in the very beginning. You say you want to go from point A to point B with whatever. Yeah. Bring us in early. We'll help you with that route selection. We'll help you with the risk management. That gets survey in faster. That gets everybody in faster.
Well, I was going to ask this question, but only one time, just because it's a shameless plug. But what are you excited about as you're starting and developing this new department with ALTA?
I love the integrated services that we're going to be able to give our clients. I can't even tell you. We offer things that others have not yet offered. So,
like what? I mean, I know
at Geotech, we know engineering companies, and they have environmental, and they have survey, and they have GIS, but they don't have everything that ALTA has. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, is AI playing a role in like right-of-way acquisition these days?
There are some considerations with AI. There are things that we can, and we're still looking at it. Mm-hmm. There's a guy I've been talking to Sean about. I've been talking to Sean about hiring temporarily or permanently, and he's the one that has approached me with AI and is with our title work. Can that AI look at the title work and be doing do our documents and do some of our unnecessary work, or our necessary but tedious work.
Tedious work, yeah.
What does that look like? I'm just curious. But before, before there was AI, what did tedious work look like? Is going through title reports and just...
Going through title reports and somebody manually entering that into the documents, and then have to quality control it. So 10 people had to look at it to make sure it said what it was supposed to say.
Oh, wow. So you think that's going to cut that to the same 10 people then need to look at it again now? Let's say AI drafts it.
Right.
Is that less people they need to look at it?
I think it'll be less people, yeah. I don't know what that looks like yet. That's something that we're just now considering.
Interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
I did think Liz and I were at a meeting today, and one thing that was interesting, and it was a survey from all the AEC firms about what role they think AI is going to play, and do they think it's going to change their workforce? And 50% of the AEC firms said it will, and of those firms, only 8% said it would mean they would hire less people. Everyone else said we're going to do it more efficiently. We're going to have more quality control, and there's less. It said less and more efficient, but not replace, which I thought was very interesting.
That is interesting. I don't know if I fully agree with it, but
that's what it said.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching like a lot of AI YouTube videos here of late, and like what the next 5 years could very possibly look like. And if you're not on the AI bandwagon right now, you are going to get so left behind. It's ridiculous.
The other interesting thing from that survey was in 2025, it was by size of company, and if you're a $2 billion company, the question was how much do you use AI?
Yep.
And if you're a $2 billion company, it was 100% last year and 100% this year. But even the 2 million and less companies last year, 80% of them or 70% of them were using it. Now it's 98.
Crazy.
It is, especially in this space, and what they're using it for varies, but.
That's what I was going to say, is what they're using it for is pretty critical too,
Sure.
pretty interesting. Those standard operating procedures, they can draft them really quick.
Yep.
But somebody's got to check it and make sure it's accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. One of the videos I watched in particular that stuck out with me is judgment. Like that's the one thing. Like we as a society don't necessarily have the best judgment, but those that do have the best judgment are going to thrive in AI.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, just like taking what AI is providing and using judgment to.
Oh, yeah.
And also like you're only as successful with AI as your prompts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have good judgment to just begin with, and you're entering prompts based on having bad judgment, it's just a recipe for failure at that point. It's bad.
I think my most frequent response now is, don't make this sound so much like ChatGPT. That's like something I would write, but
exactly.
I don't use those little icons on every single thing.
Oh,
I mean, now it's starting to be like clearly you didn't look at that. But
yeah. Amazing tool though, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Topodot. They're an original.
I know. They are an
friend of the
OG
program.
friend of the program.
Topodot, if you didn't know, is a comprehensive solution to manage point cloud data, assess data quality, and extract topographies, models, analysis, and other forms of digital twins.
Yeah, geospatial data acquired along road, rail, utility, and other land survey applications present unique processing challenges.
The Topodot production process is designed to meet these challenges with the right balance between automation and quality, thereby ensuring complex project requirements are met at the lowest possible cost.
And I know you've heard about these guys, but to find out more, go to topodot.com. Safety Apparel is another one of our long-term supporters of the show, born from the lack of quality and functional gear in the safety industry and frustrated to find no other options. Matthew Stansberry has reinvented safety apparel with the highest quality materials and most functional and versatile vests the safety industry has ever seen. They call it the Party Chief.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, right.
With many applied options, including, but not limited to, silkscreen, sublimation, patches, embroidery, and heat transferred images, they can provide your company with the clothing and art you need to look sharp and professional.
Yeah, that's right. Send Matt an email with your needs, and he will do the best he can to get you headed in the right direction. That email, info@safetyapparel.us.
So what else? Like, again, going back to, the idea that, you've been very successful in a male dominated profession, right? What are some things, again, some advice that you could give, like, younger females that are not just in right-of-way and land acquisition, but in a male dominated profession in general? Like, what are some things that you can, present to them or suggest to them to, help them be successful?
Well, I do this all the time. I speak to young women all the time, and I say, you have to do the work. You have to know your industry and know what you need to know.
Sure.
But have the confidence that you belong in every room. Just have that confidence.
Love that.
The confidence boils down to that.
It's all about confidence. And I tell them, you do belong in every room that you walk into.
Yep.
You were there for a reason.
Yep. Yep. And that doesn't mean like walk in a room and like be a complete bitch per se.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's not that.
No.
That's not
No.
what we're talking about.
No.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I share one of the tricks that I used to gain a lot of my knowledge was be the person that everybody comes to with their questions.
Yep.
I might not know all the answers, but I'll find the answer, and guess what? Then I start to know the answers.
Yeah.
And so just don't be irritated by people coming to you and asking you, I don't care what it is.
Yep.
Where do I find this? Find it out and share it.
Yep. And then you establish a certain level of respect as well at that point.
Well, and when you become the person that has the answers, that just, you start being the person with all the answers, and you can provide the answers for your clients, for your employees, for your people.
Yeah.
And so it sets up a mindset of, I will find the answers and I will be the answers, and I become a trusted resource.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So I know you wrote an article about your perspective.
I did.
Yeah. It was for a magazine.
Well, I haven't submitted it yet, but yes.
Can you share with us a little of the insights, a little preview from that article?
Well, it's just basically a woman's perspective, a 40-year look back in oil and gas.
That's awesome.
And all those things that have changed. It's been, not just the madmen to, somewhat more civilized now.
Yep.
It's been technology has changed. The fact that I didn't have a computer on my desk. We did everything by hand.
Yep.
I had no idea how much that technology was going to change. Yeah. Everything was in file folders. I can't break that completely. Yeah. I still have a lot of paper on my desk. Yep. But, everything that we do is right here, at our fingertips right now. And you didn't know that. And just the boom and the bust cycles that I've been through.
How many do you think you've been through?
Yeah.
6.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's so funny. We mentioned Mad Men a couple of times. So it's kind of gone from Mad Men to Landman.
Yes.
You watch Landman?
I have. Yeah. So, that was a fun one. I always say, Landman is a little different industry, but they all talk about
it's kind of parallel
with us.
Yeah.
And I've never had a bag put over my head and been beat up.
That's great.
Like that
by the cartel.
I'm really happy about that. But I have been threatened at gunpoint.
Wow.
I have been threatened to be put in that ditch if something didn't happen.
Yep.
I have been threatened more times than you can imagine.
That's crazy.
And, and this is some of those threats were back when we didn't even have cell phones.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you talk about growing up, in when I did, I traveled the country without a cell phone.
It's nuts.
The grit, the nerve, the steel
and
that
Rand
I had.
McNally, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. Have you worked on both the public and the private side?
I have. I have.
Is one preferable over the other, or easier to exist in?
Public or client side? Is that So if I were a client, or if I was a consultant, and so the client side is lazy. It's great. It's great. It's secure.
Sure.
It's very secure, and I worked for Berkshire Hathaway, and so I learned a lot with the whole Warren Buffett mentality. But the consultant side is very exciting. We have a lot more opportunities for different days.
Sure. Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you got, Sean?
Oh, I want to hear more stories.
Stories. You want to hear about, back in the no cell phone days, and I went out into the middle of nowhere and I was shadowing my buddy Orville Todd, who, by the way, had a wooden leg.
Oh, boy.
He did fine.
He got around okay?
He got around just fine.
Did he have a nickname?
Orville.
Okay.
No, I didn't have a nickname for him. But we were knocking on doors, and we were knocking on mobile homes, and we both walked up together, and around the corner, I heard a pack of dogs.
Oh, geez.
Coming around the corner, and here's Orville and the cars.
Oh, no.
That way. So I turned and I yelled at the dogs, "Run, Orville, run!" He had to run to the car. Oh, so many things. Other things is, I have to deal with all the landowners that have damages and things like that. And I had a contractor call me and said, we ran over a car.
Yeah. What?
It's exactly what I said.
Did you not see it?
I said, how, with what? He said, I ran over a car with a backhoe.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, how do you do that? He says,
you can do it.
You're just going to have to come and see.
Yeah, it's possible.
And of course, it was in a swale, and it was winter in Minnesota.
Yep.
And so the snow had covered it up. Yep. And the backhoe thought it was going like this, and then poosh, it fell down into that pit. And of course, that was the landowner's vintage convertible he was restoring. And I was like, no, it wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah, we have lots of fun stories.
Crazy stuff. No doubt.
One thing that surprised me, kind of, getting to know you and understand the little bit I know now of kind of what you do in this industry. I guess I always thought, to that landman point, it's like, this is all this is a Texas thing. And then what I learned is like, no, there's a lot of opportunity in oil and gas in a lot of different states across the country. Like, talk about that. Like where and why do certain areas have more opportunity and they're just bigger oil and gas kind of transmission line? Like why is that different in different states?
Well, I think it's whether or not they want it there. I think, legislation, the local level legislation allows it. I think, I don't know why all the pipelines seem to be, east of us.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I don't know. But the other part of what you were referring to is it's a big industry. It is a big industry, and there's so many opportunities for people to do all kinds of things, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And there's lots of different varieties. You can sit in an office like I do and send teams out and do all that kind of stuff, or you can be the teams that relocate your family to a whole nother city for 2 years while we go and acquire all that property. Yeah. And they love that because they get to know what North Dakota is like, or Florida is like, or where someplace else. And so that's kind of exciting for them.
Yeah. What's the most challenging and most rewarding part of your job?
I think the most challenging part is, the immediate need that our clients will have. We'll put an answer to an RFP, and we've got to respond. They give us the award, and then we've got to respond by Monday. And finding the people that quickly, they have to be on site on Monday. Of course, I know how to do this. We've been doing it for a while, but that is a big challenge. And when you first started going for that project, all these people were available, but now 30 of them are not. They take another project because they were waiting. Right. And so you got to so you have to have a big resource. So that is a big challenge. Yeah. I think the most rewarding for me is, again, the people part of it. Yeah. I love mentoring people. Yeah. I love educating people.
It's awesome.
That's good segue that you helped us with, because we talk about mentoring a lot on this show, and we'd like your perspective on why is it so important, and what advice can you give people that are either looking to why should somebody get a mentor or have that partnership?
That's great. For people who have never formally had a mentor, highly encourage it. You go to your mentor with, what's the next step in my career path? Or I'm having a difficulty with this scenario, whether it be a boss or a project or whatever. Those mentors are there to help you go your next step. And I wasn't formally a mentee, but my dad put me in front of the attorney. He'd bring me to work, and I sat in the attorney's office, or I'd go and I'd bug the drafters or whoever it was, and ask them, what do you do? How do I do it? What are you going to do next? And, so mentoring is one of my favorite things. And I've got people that still call me today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Giving back to the profession.
Who was your mentor that helped you in your career?
I've had a few. I've actually had a few. I've had, my dad was one. I've had another attorney that was one of my mentors. Yeah. A woman that we work with was one of my mentors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
What is it like having your dad as your mentor? Because I know a lot that occurs a lot in the survey business too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's both a good thing and a bad thing, but I'm interested in your perspective.
No, you're exactly right. And as I think I said in the beginning, I said, I'm not doing what you want. I'm not going to do this, Dad, and so we fought a lot, he wanted me to do this. And so we had a lot of headbutting, but I went to school and I learned, and he was not continuing to learn. And so I learned things, and I will never forget the day he came into my office and he said, yeah, you got to teach me now, kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, mentoring is a two-way street, and the mentor can also receive mentoring from the mentee.
Absolutely.
You got to be open to that for sure. I mean, going back to AI, like AI is not going to replace, I don't think, what you do, right? No. There's too much of a human effect or component to it that just can't go away. I can't remember where I'm going with this exactly.
Do you think AI can eventually be my mentor?
Maybe. I don't know.
You said maybe. She said no.
I don't know. So I can't remember where I was going with that. That's horrible. Maybe I should get back on the gluten. I don't know.
I know. I think all those non-gluten pizzas are starting to mess with your brain.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, I think it's that emotional side that you might be referring to. I don't know if anybody watched that iRobot where he fought it, and and what they didn't have is save this one over that one, because this one, you have to have that emotional side of it too to say no, save that one.
Yeah.
So I don't think AI is ever going to replace the emotion, what did you call, what was the word you used earlier? The reasoning, or no, you didn't use that word, but
I'm not sure.
Discernment. I don't know.
Yeah.
All of those things.
One thing that I would recommend is I actually, for some reason, watched that movie, iRobot, all the way through, a couple weeks ago. And it's kind of creepy. That one and Minority Report is a good one. There's some good ones that are like 10, 20 years ago that were like the movies in the future, and how accurate or not accurate a lot of those were. Like it's creepy and cool at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think any of them kind of predicted this AI, I mean, maybe in some respect, but not really what's happening now. It's kind of wild. Yeah, but the cars don't fly around, and I still don't have that thing where Tom Cruise had this computer screen with the fingers and all that. I still want that instead of like the physical. I think that's where it's next. I want to just like pull up my, hey, here's my screen. I'm looking at it. Here's my little things, and it's all in a thing, not a physical computer.
I think you're describing golden tea.
I know we do not have a golden tea machine in the budget for the Geoholics.
Dang it.
No, I evaluated it. Sorry, buddy.
Jesus. All right. Next year. What else you got?
Yeah. No, Liz, what else do you want to get out there that we haven't talked about yet?
I think one of the questions, that I often get asked is, after all those years, what makes you joy? What gives you joy for that career? Yeah. And I literally realized that I could go anywhere in the country, almost anywhere in the country. And if my car broke down, I can call one of those landowners, or I can call one of those cities. I can call the community, and I have.
Really?
And they came.
That's happened.
And
That's
they
awesome.
helped me.
Yeah. I know where I was going earlier. It came back to me. To get to where you are, in your career, are there certifications or licenses that you need to obtain along the way?
Yes.
What does that look like?
Well, we prefer our people to have certifications and licenses and things like that. There isn't a degree. You don't you don't grow up to say, I want to be a right-of-way agent and go to 4 years of extra schooling. But we have an association called the International Right-of-Way Association.
Yep. IRWA?
Yep, IRWA, and they offer a whole set of courses that you can do, and it has various certifications that you can have in that. I was going the real estate law way, and
Yeah, so are you, do you need to be a licensed real estate agent?
In some states.
Have credentials or something?
Some states require that if you're going to acquire any kind of an interest in a land, you have to have a real estate license.
Okay.
Which then that real real estate agent has to have a broker to hold those licenses. So that becomes a jurisdictional mess.
Sure.
To try and find those people.
Gotcha. Good to know. And it sounds like again, we talked about there's always going to be a need for this service. Is there a shortage of people like getting into it or being mentored? I mean, what does that industry look like?
Yeah, back in the 90s, we realized that it was looking kind of like Jurassic Park, and it was very, it was, there wasn't a lot of young people in it. And so we made strides and created a young professionals group. And I struggled when we created that, and I didn't want to use the word young, but young in your career can also work.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of going to college campuses and things like that to try and put it out there for people that there's a whole industry out here that you don't know about.
Yeah.
So what's the pitch? Why would someone earlier in their career get into this profession?
It's so much fun. I mean, if you're a people person, there's not a better career.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. You get to meet everybody. And yes, you're going to have some headaches when you run over the pet peacock. You know, you're going to have to deal with a really mad landowner. Yeah. But you'll come to just love it. I don't know a right-of-way agent that hates their job.
Wow, that's cool. Key.
Yeah.
What do you think though? What do you think the most fun? When did you have the most fun in your career? Was that at Enron?
No, I thought it was.
Wrong reasons.
I thought it was.
Yeah, at the time, I'm sure it was.
I had an expense account. Yeah. No, it was. I really like when we have our teams that work on large projects. That I've got 5 offices across the country that we're building this big facility, and we're all in it together, and we're pizza party at midnight because we got to mail out all these letters and all that kind of stuff. And I don't care what position you play on it, you're all showing up, and we're all stuffing these envelopes, and we're all doing this kind of stuff. And we've just had so much fun, and it becomes a family. Imagine you move out of state and you're with all these people for years, a year, 2 years, whatever. And
which that could very easily happen on some big projects, right?
All the time. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. They become family.
That's cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
What's the biggest project you've worked on? Lengthwise? 600.
Wow.
Well, the project was 616 miles, but we had so many reroutes. I had well over 4,000 landowners.
Jeez.
Wow. How long did that take? You'll let me know when it's done.
I had it probably 80 some % done, and it got shut down.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times does that happen where you're working on a project for a long time and then it just
it happens more often than you think. It happens more often, and I don't care what industry, what energy. I don't care. It can be political, it can be whatever, and so they all have their time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, how do you get an opportunity? I guess is it are you working with the planning folks? I mean, who do you work with in order to get opportunities to provide these services?
We woo our clients. We know who our clients are. We do a lot of research. We figure out who's going to be building, who's got, what is their budget for? What are they spending their money on? And so we gear our strategy to meet what their plan is.
Gotcha.
So they usually put a 5-10 year plan out there, and we're going to do system upgrades. Or we've got a big expansion project, or we've got this. And so it's really, again, relationship building. And so my clients will talk to me and they'll tell me what they're working on and things like that. So
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I know Sean's super excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
awesome.
The future is bright.
The future's bright.
It is.
I love it. What else? You got anything else, Sean?
No, I'm just anything else we didn't cover? You want to get out there?
I'm good. I think I'm good.
That was great. Man, that hour went by so fast. such an engaging conversation. That's what happens.
I know, right? We do have one more question. We ask every guest, do you have a mantra that you live by?
I wouldn't call it my mantra, but it's my, treat people right and things will turn out right.
Yep. The golden rule, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Like it.
Yeah, really can't go wrong with that one.
Yep. All right. Well, Liz, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having
conversation.
me.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Added tremendous value. That's for sure.
Well, and I think it's not something that not a lot of us know about. And, if how do people find out more if they're interested and they're like, hey, I want to know more about right away. How do they get in touch with you?
They can call me or they can look at IRWA.
That's good.
Yep.
IRWA.
Great organization. We're very involved with the IRWA in California, and it's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yep. All right. Adding value and making friends.
Yeah, check that
made
box,
a new
my friend.
I made a new friend. She added value.
Absolutely.
So we're in a good place. If anyone would like to be a guest on a future show, shoot us an email at info@thegeoholics.com. Huge thanks to our featured friends of the program, Altair Central, David Evans and Associates, Emlid, Diamondback Land Surveying, 12D Synergy, Trimble, Leica, Topodot, Mach 9, 4M Analytics. Gosh, guess what? We have a new FOTP
we do.
that I will announce next week. Until then, Prince, When Doves Cry, available everywhere. Until next time, everyone, I love it. Treat people right, and things will turn out right. Most importantly, as always, be safe and healthy, everyone.